Now, I ask this to all of my guests. Can you give me one of your favorite things about America in your best American accent?
You can go to Six Flags. You got Six Flags over there?
Was that your American accent, John? Oh, was that a question? Was that a question? G'day and welcome to Big Down Under. On today's episode, I'm interviewing someone you might know or have heard about. He's the Purple Wiggle. His name's John Pearce. Now, this guy's obviously killing it down under. He's in like our biggest band ever. But you might have seen him going viral on TikTok because he's somewhat of an influencer. So the Wiggles obviously are maybe our most famous kids band. But John, unlike Wiggles of the past, he is buff, he's tatted, he's young, he does all these thirst traps, he films little prank videos, and he's a Wiggle. So I want to talk to him about being this new age Wiggle. Like, it wasn't the Wiggles we grew up on when I was a kid. And now he's in this amazing band who's coming over to America soon, hopefully going to play live with Dolly Parton. So I talked to him all about his journey from... At once, he won Australia's Got Talent with his crew called the Justice Crew. They won Australia's Got Talent and they went crazy, went on tours with Pitbull and other big stars. And then that kind of wound down the Justice Crew. And when it did, he became a personal trainer. So I want to talk to him about like that fall from grace, being so big, going back to personal training. And now, once again, he's bigger than ever as part of the Wiggles. So I want to talk to him all about his career on the screen, off the screen, his personal journey, and different things he's had to tackle throughout his life. So without further ado, here's John Pearce, the Purple Wiggle. John, happy birthday, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
You turned 34.
Years old. 34. I know. I feel 20 years old.
You look 20, to be honest. I mean, you're the youngster. You're the whippersnapper.
I feel like it. Age is just a number, I guess. And if you feel young, you are young. So you're as old as you feel.
And I see the Wiggles sign behind you. Where are you coming to us from?
Hot Potato Studios. So we're in Sydney, and this is where we do all the magic. And Wiggle Town, we do our filming and recording here. This is the podcast studio. So this is where they film the podcast. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of different fun rooms here at Wiggles HQ.
Because the Wiggles have a podcast for parents, don't they, as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And it's a really cool different avenue to communicate to parents, and it's talking the parents' language, and it's a bit more fun and not as it's not like you're talking to children. It's a little bit different, but right. It's fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wiggles are as Australian as like Vegemite or Crocodile Dundee. Like they're so quintessentially Australian. It must be amazing to find yourself like in this iconic role.
I know it's a pinch myself moment each time. Like I grew up watching the Wiggles. I'm 34. The Wiggles were established when I was born, and to be able to call myself a Wiggle now and wearing the iconic purple skivvy, which Wake Up Jeff initially wore. It's really cool. It's a privilege, and I'm very grateful to be in the position I am. And it's a fun. I feel like a superhero this day and age, superhero. So you are a hero in a way to young children in the next generation. So it's really cool.
And you're not only a Wiggle, you're the heartthrob Wiggle.
Well, apparently so. My wife thinks so. So that's the main thing.
No, I mean, when you posted in inverted commas thirst traps and you do all these different things where, I mean, you're called Big Strong John, and it's fitting. Like you're a buff, tatted, handsome young Wiggle, and like mothers around the world, and I know mothers here in America, I mean, you got the accent for them too. Like you are the guy. Like they have to watch all these shows because their kids are, and then they focus on Big Strong John. Like what is it like being, somewhat of a sex symbol to a few mothers out there?
I know it's a funny when you put it like that. Like with children's entertainment and having that kind of a label, you don't really think that fits in the same sentence. But the internet's different now. It's 2025, and everyone has an opinion and something to say. It's a positive thing. I'm super flattered by it, and you just got to embrace it. And as I said before, I'm just trying to be myself. I've always looked after my health and fitness, and I was part of a breakdancing group before that. So I'm combining all those elements in children's entertainment, and and getting a few labels online. It's all a positive thing, and I guess you just got to embrace it. And it's a way that I say that I've been accepted into the role as the Purple Wiggle. So thank you to all the parents, mums, dads, and uncles and aunties.
Do you have any sort of overzealous mums or whatever at the show? You have like Wiggles groupies, or they're like, okay, chill. I'm only here as a job. You have any of those instances?
Yeah, like a few of the shows after a few of those videos went a bit viral. A few parents started turning up to the shows with, a purple shirt with the logo, but they replaced the logo with saying, I'm only here for John. Or, and it's pretty funny, and it's really cool to see. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay humble here. Just got to stay humble. It's the Wiggles as a whole is cool to be a part of, and if it wasn't for the platform that I had, and also the comparison of my background and being tatted up and things like that underneath the skivvy, it's just something that's so different to what we're used to. And I guess it's
Exactly.
such a talk
yes,
contrast.
totally. I mean, the Wiggles kind of took a risk on you, because
I know.
I've never seen a tatted up, buff, young influencer as a Wiggle, and so then they're putting in John. It's refreshing, and it did refresh the brand in a big important way.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. And it's, when I was asked to join, I did think, am I fitting for the group? And I know, like, it's not like I've done things in my past that I regret. Like, I've always lived a clean, wholesome life. And it's just, being in the fitness industry and being in a pop group, Justice Crew in Australia, it's just different when you go from, say, like pop music into children's like the Wiggles, and everyone knows the Wiggles for who they were. And to kind of make that transition and say, hey, I'm the Purple Wiggle now. It was different. But as you said, everyone's embraced it. It's just the contrast. I think that's super interesting to people, and it's also interesting to me. It's these
so
ideas
true.
come to my mind, like, because you don't think, like, Anthony has got tattoos, and you probably would never see it. But if TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that were around in the 90s, who knows? You may have seen more of his six-pack abs and.
It's true, but I mean, you and your brother, your twin brother Len, who were both.
Lenny.
Lenny, who were both in Justice Crew, which we'll talk about in a second, but a massive Australian act. You guys went from like singing about like sexy girls in a pop group to sort of like both of you now are children's entertainers. It's like the reverse JoJo Siwa. You're going back. You're going back.
We're going back. We're reversing it back.
Why both of you, both you and Len, both of you guys are doing sort of like a kids thing now, when you started out and you got famous from doing an adults thing?
Yeah, it kind of happened organically. I don't think we planned it. I think it just all happened genuinely. Like, when I was asked to join the Wiggles, to be a children's entertainer wasn't on the cards for me. I was studying nutrition at university. I was a PT. I was trying to delve into the fitness aspect. I was actually applying to be a firefighter at the time, so I wanted to kind of get something that I could do locally and stay with my family and start a family and all that sort of stuff. And the same with Lenny. Like, he didn't think I want to start this. And I think when something works, you trial different things. For Lenny, he started remixing nursery rhymes because he had a daughter, and it was just something different. He was always a producer and a DJ. So it started like that, and just throwing something up online, and it just kind of took off. And I remember when Lenny and when I just joined the Wiggles, I saw one of the OG Wiggles, Murray. He was DJing at a nightclub. And I was just thinking then and there, like, why isn't he like playing remix versions of like Wiggle songs? Like, it would just be so fitty.
Right.
So I remember going, and I called Lenny up and I said, hey, let's just do a fun social media experiment. Like, let's just remix like Big Red Car, toot toot chugga chugga Big Red Car, and I'll sing it and you just produce it, and let's just throw that up on TikTok. And like it went a bit viral because
People
it was
loved
such a new
Yeah,
thing.
I mean,
It was so new.
amazing.
This is my childhood. Yeah, so my childhood, and it's it's in current EDM music, so it was just something different that worked. So
yeah, like when I talk about like Lenny's business, like basically doing raves for babies and toddlers. Firstly, they're like, huh? And then I explain, like, but babies love music and flashing lights. So they're like, it's like a no-brainer. Why hasn't this come out like earlier? Like, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and the concept is confusing too, because you think, loud music for children, how is that going to work? But it's also kind of a co-viewing experience. It's a co-experience for the parents as well as the children. And if you can kind of entertain the parents and build that experience between their child and themselves, and something that they both can enjoy, it's a fun day for everybody. I think that's what's important.
So as we just mentioned, you and Lenny came up on Australia's Got Talent. You won Australia's Got Talent with Justice Crew, and then went on to be one of the biggest Australian acts of of our time. Like you won all of these ARIA awards, which are big awards, you know, down under. And then after that massive success, touring with Pitbull, Janet Jackson, One Direction, Chris Brown, you had to sort of like
Yeah,
go back and be a personal trainer. Like, what was it like emotionally, sort of like going to those
yeah.
dizzying heights and then like, okay, now I'm a personal trainer?
Yeah, it was, it took a while, and I think, everything in the music industry, and like unless you kind of break into the world, it's a lot of artists kind of go through this, you kind of peak and you hit a bit of a high, and then it's like where to from now. And as a group, there was six of us. We started off as nine in Justice Crew, and then there was six, and we kind of like I was 19 when I started, and you kind of grow into different things that you enjoy, and we all started different hobbies and things like that. And I always loved health and fitness, so after touring, and we went to America and toured with Pitbull and Kesha, and then we came back and went to do another song, and then it was like it gets a bit exhausting after a while. You still want that sense of control and what you enjoy. So me starting that fitness endeavor was important to me, and it just kind of happened organically. And it's hard transitioning from being in the spotlight to just go and working somewhere, when the reality is that some people aren't making as much income as they are, just to be real, in the industry, especially in Australia, and trying to transition over to try to do something for yourself. It's a bit difficult, but you got to make that step soon. But that's why I kind of wanted to join the Fireys. That's something that I thought was a fulfilling career and that I can kind of do for a long time. In the music industry, it's hard to kind of stay relevant and stay there, and you just got to kind of be real with yourself sooner than later. And I think me and myself, Lenny, we kind of had those conversations earlier, and we didn't want to branch off and do our own thing. So we thought we'd balance touring and just doing our own thing on the side, just to kind of keep our mental health and keep our sense of sense of self there as well. And it just, and especially when COVID kind of came, it kind of put a halt to the whole music industry, and
Right.
that kind of was a big wake up call to what happens if this doesn't work out, and what happens down the track with your family and things like that. So we had to kind of make those decisions, and it's just I feel like everything happens for a reason, and the universe kind of has different plans for different people. And I think you just got to be open to opportunities, and sometimes it's not as clear at the beginning, and you just got to be open, and it all makes sense when you look back. And now that I'm here at Wiggles HQ, and I kind of look back at the journey I've had, it kind of all makes sense.
Right.
The experience, the Justice Crew and touring, and the music industry has kind of taught me the foundations of what to expect. And now I'm surrounded by such a good team and a good community here, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Now, Lenny's your twin brother, obviously. What sort of like, can you give us some details on your sort of relationship? Like, who was born first? Are you guys competitive with each other? You guys are just like being kind of mirroring each other,
Yeah.
literally, like, and figuratively, like all your lives.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like? You best mates, or what's it like?
Yeah, yeah, with a lot of twins, like me and Lenny are best mates. We talk to each other morning and night still. He lives in a different state, so I just spoke to him on the way here. It's a 40-minute drive every morning to Wiggles HQ, and we catch up and we talk just like we're living together. He was my best man at my wedding, and we talk about everything. But we're not that competitive in a way with each other. We kind of I want the best for Lenny, and I want him to succeed, and he does the same for myself. And he's like an extension of me. We're identical twins at the end of the day. We don't look the same lately, but
Yeah.
we work together, and it's not us against the world, but I want the best for him. And growing up, we competed in athletics, and athletics was our main. We actually wanted to compete in the Olympics in sprinting and long jump, triple jump, and that was what kind of built us the foundation to working for something and sticking and being consistent. So I think that was the start of our competitive nature. But lately it's not as competitive. We're
That's
more
good.
supportive. I think we've kind of grown up, and once you hit your 30s, I'm 34 now, so you got to really think about your future.
Totally. You guys have had some really interesting, exciting music coming out lately. One particular
Mm-hmm.
track, you did a track with Dolly Parton, a country song, Friends.
I know, I know. We've got a country album which comes out in Australia, March the 7th. And yeah, Dolly Parton was one of the artists. The amazing Dolly Parton was grateful enough to give us, a few songs, and we remade her 9 to 5, and we've called it 1 to 5, which has come out now, which is a bit more catered to children, counting 1 to instead
Love
of
it.
working 9 to 5.
Love
Yeah,
it.
so it's a bit of fun play on words, and Dolly Parton wrote a song called Friends, which is really cool, that she featured on, and it's out now. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify to be streamed. But yeah, we're super grateful that she's on board, and everybody knows Dolly Parton. She's just such an icon around the world.
You guys are coming out to America pretty soon, like in a few months. Are you hoping to sort of like get her on stage with you guys, maybe do a rendition?
Yeah, why not? Like we're of course we're open to that. If only if she's got such a busy schedule, I'm sure, and she's whether she feels up for it on the day or whether we can cross paths with her. We're going to be in Nashville. I think she's around that area, so we're going to be heading down there. So fingers crossed that it all works out, and we'll be ready. Arms will be open. The doors will be welcoming Dolly Parton on the stage.
Absolutely.
How awesome that.
Have you got any other sort of dream collabs, sort of like I could see you guys doing a rap song with Kendrick or some pop thing with Taylor. Like, is there any other one else you're targeting?
Oh, why not? Kendrick Lamar, can you imagine worlds colliding? He's got to be in children. He might have to change some of his words to make it more catered to children.
Right.
How cool would that be? But anyone that's open to collaborating with the Wiggles, we're open to that. But something like Taylor Swift would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be amazing? Just while we're on the celebrities, did you see that Robert De Niro is a fan of the Wiggles?
He's been watching the Wiggles, and that's so surprising that it's he's watched the Wiggles in his past, and Anthony said that he's met him. He's been to the shows previously when they toured in the 90s or early 2000s, and so he's kind of looping back around to the new generation of Wiggles with was the granddaughter, was his daughter?
It's his daughter, actually.
His daughter, and he's just rewatching it again along with Miss Rachel, and I saw that and how that's such a cool thing to think that he might be thinking of maybe coming to the show once we're over there in a few months. So we'll send him an email and get him down there.
Of course, yeah. Him and his daughter Gia, I think her name is. They should come and do like a Wiggles meet and greet.
Oh, how cool! It will be meeting him.
Yeah, true. A meet and greet with him. I want to talk about Emma Wiggle just for a second because she's big in our household. I got a 5-year-old who Emma was her Wiggle. What sort of impact did Emma have on the Wiggles? Because when you're thinking of like the biggest Wiggles of all time, her name's got to be right towards the top.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was such a change, especially changing from the original lineup to, with Simon, Lockie, Emma, and Emma being the first, female Wiggle in that lineup. It was just such a change at the time. And I think everyone at first kind of flinched and was like, oh, no, this is the childhood. You can't change that. And I think that was such a pinnacle moment in the Wiggles kind of rebranding and just kind of growing with society and just, the guys want to retire too. And they've been performing and doing thousands and thousands of shows. So, and Emma was, she did really well. And I used to watch it too. And everyone knew her, whether you watch the Wiggles or not. And, like props to her, she did well. And now she's on to her own endeavor and she's doing Emma Mema, which is really cool. And it's just shows that, the Wiggles can kind of elevate your career and they can kind of shape you into, a better artist and a better musician at the end of the day. And, that it's just a part of Wiggles history now. So it's really cool to be a part of it all. I guess.
Totally. Now, we mentioned that you were like an influencer as well as a Wiggle. Do the Wiggles have any rules for you? Like, John, you can do a thirst trap, but not that thirsty, man. Or do they have these sort of like, okay, these are the actual rules you have to follow?
Yeah, there's not an exact rule book, but I guess it's an understanding that we have a responsibility to upkeep. And, as long as you're being yourselves within reason, it's pretty standard. We know what we're representing. It's a children's brand. It's known around the world. And, I can't be now posing along the beach, with my arm up like this, with an ice cream one, things like that. Well, I never really did that, but I'm just a bit more conscious about, the type of content I'm posting. I try to kind of keep it health and fitness related. Or now I'm a new dad, so that's kind of my main focus. It's just we all know the responsibility involved.
Totally. Are there any aspects when you come over to America? Do you have to change any of your show so that American kids or Americans in general can understand it? Like we've got different words or different ways of. Is there any sort of cultural differences that you guys have to go? Okay, we change that for the Americans.
Yeah, not really. I probably personally need to talk a bit slower. I seem to talk really fast and mumble. It's just something I've probably done. And I know a lot of Australians probably do. We talk quite quick and we kind of curve our words and it sounds like gibberish most of the time. Well, I can speak for myself. But the show kind of stays the same. Children seem to have the same response to a lot of things around the world. And that's the cool thing is with young children is that no matter where you're from, you can all kind of relate to music and entertainment in the same way. And that's what the Wiggles have done over the years is, brought that joy to a lot of families around the world and they've kept it the same. And that's what's important. So we kind of keep it the same. Fruit Salad, although is a big popular song so we'll probably have to play a remix version of Fruit Salad and also, a live acoustic version. So there's a few tweaks to the show, but as opposed to just speaking and performing, it all stays the same.
Now, I ask this to all of my guests. Can you give me one of your favorite things about America in your best American accent?
The best American accent. Okay, my favorite things. Oh, how am I gonna do this?
Some of you like about America in your best
But
American accent.
but that's funny is because Filipinos, I'm half Filipino. That the traditional, if you grew up in the Philippines, they have an American accent. So when I think of an American accent, I think of a Filipino American accent.
No way.
Which like how am I gonna do this? Like they would say water.
Right.
Oh, that's like Filipino. But if like with Australians, like, can I get a bottle of water? Can I get a bottle of water? That's just how I don't know.
Any favorite things? Any favorite things you can give us?
You can go to Six Flags. You got Six Flags over there?
Was that your American accent, John? Was that a question? Was that a question? Where you did that? Yes, you can go to Six Flags. You can. If that was...
Flags over there.
Nice.
Oh, that's so bad. Forget
That's all right. I'll take that for sure. Also, the Olympics is coming up in Australia. Mm-hmm. I would have thought, Bluey would be involved, maybe even the Wiggles. Have you got any interest, or do you think maybe you'll get like the nod?
Yeah, well, it's 2032. I think it's coming to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're up into the opening ceremony. Imagine getting a remix version of Fruit Salad opening up the opening ceremony with Dorothy in the center, and you've got this big spectacular Wiggles flying everywhere.
I can see it.
Yeah, even just a portion of it. That'd be awesome. You've got the lights flying, you've got Wags the dog, you've got Henry Doctor's. Maybe you got Captain Feathersword sailing in on his ship and then fireworks fly out the back of it.
Look, we've already figured it out. Like, this is it.
Anything's possible. We can get DJ Lenny hanging up on a big swing.
Oh, I don't know. Fantastic. I love that, man.
Yeah, so put it out there. Let's manifest it.
I would love to see that, man, because, Bluey's going to get a mention because Bluey's from Brisbane as well. I'm surprised you guys haven't done more stuff with Bluey in general.
Yeah, we've done a few small things here and there. He's got that Bluey's World. I think it's opened up in Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
Lockie, the other purple wiggle, he lives up in Brisbane, so he should be knocking on the doors of Bluey and see if we can get more involved in there. But we're open to it, and Bluey's a close friend of the Wiggles, so let's collaborate. I
can actually see it now. I just came up with this. We call it the Waggles, because they're dogs, right?
That exists. Yeah, the Waggles. I think does that exist? That sounds.
If
really
it
familiar.
doesn't, it should. And if it does exist, then I'm sorry, that's copyright.
It sounds like a TV show. You've got Bluey and then you got Waggles.
It should be. It should be. Now, I mean, with Justice Crew, you guys toured pretty extensively, as you were saying, like in America and Australia and other places. What are the differences in like the after parties between Justice Crew and the Wiggles? I would have imagined they're slightly different.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. The Wiggles party. It's like, and obviously, like we were young. You go to a nightclub and you have a little booth there, and you're out partying. Our shows were at nighttime. Me and Lenny were actually very good boys. I was mostly in a relationship that whole time, so didn't make the most of being a pop star in Australia. But now as the Wiggles, we're just regular people. For me, my party days are over. Who knows, if I was in the Wiggles when I was 19, it could have been different. But we've got 3 to 4 shows to do every single day, so you got to prioritize your energy, and staying out till late in the morning is probably not ideal if you've got to back it up with 3 to 4 shows the next day.
The matinees.
It's a bit different, and your body doesn't recover the same way. Although I always looked after my health and fitness was my priority, so partying and going out to late hours wasn't a regular thing back in the Justice Crew days. But it just comes down to priorities at the end of the day. My priority now is family and my wife, so a little bit different.
Do you get stopped on the street very much by kids? I imagine quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. It's because Justice Crew peaked about 10 years ago, so now those teenagers are now in the workforce and they've got children. So it's a bridge between, hey, I know you from Justice Crew, or my kids watch you on the Wiggles, or I've seen you on TikTok, or something like that.
You've got fans from different places.
Yeah, and it happens a lot more frequently now than the last few years. But it's a really cool thing, and I never really get disappointed or annoyed if I get stopped for just to say hello or a photo. I'm always kind of open to that, and I appreciate that. It takes a lot of courage to ask somebody,
especially for a kid as well.
Exactly, and you make their day too, especially if you wave to them or you just ask them the name. They'll take that home and remember that for that whole a week. So it goes a long way, especially young children.
I asked AI what the most successful Got Talent contestants worldwide are, and Justice Crew were third most successful ever.
Oh wow, really?
Of any country ever. That's what it said.
It's at the top of the list. Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle. I was going to get you to guess. Yes, Susan Boyle was top of the list.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. We met Susan Boyle. We did America's Got Talent Champions a few years ago. They were the winners of each country, and just to do a kind of a showcase competition in the States. So this was like 2019, I think we went over there. And we met Susan Boyle there. So it was really cool to be in the same room, and she kind of feels a bit like royalty there.
Susan Boyle.
Everyone knows, yeah. Pretty cool.
That's amazing. Another question I asked AI was who are the highest earning Australian entertainers? And Wiggles are second. Wiggles were the second highest grossing Australian entertainers last year, they said.
Second?
That's what yes.
Who's number one?
Number one, my question is to guess. It says right down here in my paper, guess.
Are they still currently?
Just an entertainer. It's a guy. It's a guy.
It's a guy, Sebastian?
No, it's Hugh Jackman.
Jackman, yes. Okay, an actor. You got it.
Hugh Jackman. Maybe that was unclear. Hugh Jackman, yeah. But also, I've got no idea why, but when they listed the 10 top Aussie earners of last year, you individually were listed as 9th.
Me?
Yes.
How much did that made?
I think it said 5 to 10 million, actually, John.
I mean, I got to check my accounts. It might be a
I was scratching my head. And I even asked why, and they said, brand deals, TikTok stuff, Justice Crew stuff. That there's so many strings to your bow that you're the 9th biggest Aussie entertainer.
I can't confirm or deny. I gotta go and check. Speak to my wife. I don't know if she's opened another account.
That might be it. That might be it.
Look into that.
Couple more questions. So fruit salad it speaks to me because when I'm out and about, my job, John, is I get a video camera in my backpack, and I'm what some people think of as a paparazzi. I'll walk around LAX with a video camera backpack, try to find celebrities to interview. And if they don't want to talk to me, if they're like ignoring me, my go-to question is, what's your favorite summer fruit? And when I ask that question, because it's so stupid, I think, and it's coming from a stupid accent, they'll answer. They'll say pineapple or whatever. So I had to ask Mr. Fruit Salad, like, what are your favorite summer fruits? What should be in a fruit salad?
Well, I think you have grapes, apples, bananas. I feel like they're the foundation. And then whether you like, for me personally, I love to have mango, a bit of watermelon, and then maybe a bit of passion fruit. I
like that. Can we say like on the record officially, no more rock melon in fruit salads? Can we ban?
Yeah, not many people like rock melon, right? And I think it's high risk of listeria because of how it grows, right? So it's probably not a good healthy choice.
It's in every fruit salad though. It's like, get this out of my fruit salad. I don't know why it's here.
Yeah, how come? Is it a bit cheaper to put in there, or maybe it's just more accessible, or it's oversupply? Who knows?
I think that might be it. They call it honeydew over here. Honeydew.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, rock melon. Not a huge fan.
All right, last question. If one of these shows come on the TV, which are you turning off? Which are you tuning out from? And which are you turning up? Turning up, turning off, tuning out. Blippy, Miss Rachel, or Coco Melon?
Choosing one or turning up?
Which one of those will you turn up? Which one of those will you tune out from? Which one will you turn out? Turn off?
I think at the moment, just because I've got a nearly a 3-month-old at home, I'd probably put on turn up Miss Rachel. She's probably catered for that. Blippy will be a bit later, so I'll turn down Coco Melon.
Yes.
Turn off Blippy for now.
Okay.
Look, my son needs to sleep a bit more. I have 3 hours sleep last night.
Oh, dude, I've got a 6-month-old. How old's yours?
3 months, just under 3 months.
Right.
So it's kind of starting to like see things and starting to still sleep regression, all that stuff. So still learning it all.
Is it hard to go into work and like hold yourself? Like I got to be here energetic, even though I've been woken up on the hour every hour. Like, is it hard for you sometimes to keep your eyes open when you're singing Hot Potato?
Yeah, no, I think it's okay. Like, it's such a fun job that I feel like once you're in it and you're doing it, this energy just comes from somewhere, whether you're tired or not. And, I like to go to the gym in the morning. So my pre-workout keeps me going for most of the day. And I feel fine. And I think if you love what you do, whether you're tired or not, 3 hours sleep, it's fine. You'll get through that hot potato and as long as you don't forget the words of hot potato or fruit salad.
It's going to be hard for you, like, when your kid does, like, really love the Wiggles and that's what they want to listen to when you get home from work. It's just going to be, you can't escape it.
Oh, I know. It's look, we've started already playing it for him, and just to see what he sees. And obviously he can't see anything yet or understand anything. But if we get it in early and his brain kind of gets used to the music and the sounds, fingers crossed he enjoys it and he likes it. But at the end of the day, you can't really predict that. So we'll just put it on and we'll see what he does.
Awesome, John. Well, thank you very much for speaking to me, man. It was really an honor to speak to a Wiggle, and looking forward to you guys heading over to the States. I'll definitely be there with my kids, enjoying it.
Awesome. Are you based in LA?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in LA. You guys are coming to LA, aren't you?
Yeah. Are you coming to the show? Or if you need tickets or anything, let us know and we'll see if we can organize that.
Oh, look at that. Look at the perks of doing this show.
Yeah, come jump up on the stage.
Yeah, me and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
That would be good, huh?
How cool.
Hey, could I get one of these finger wags to get us out?
Yeah.
There we go. That's the Wiggle move. There we go. There we go. Love it. Thank you so much, John.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you. See you over here in the States. Goodbye.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, man. Cheers.
Christina.
Cotton.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So let us know what has been happening this week down under.
You know what? Down under this week, there's been a very big story, and it involves an American influencer.
Okay.
So her name's Sam Jones, and she was down under, and in a since deleted video, we see her picking up a baby wombat and taking it away from her mother.
Not good.
Not good for us.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of go viral.
Insane, everywhere.
Everyone's hating on her, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yes, she's seen laughing in the video, and the cameraman says, "Look at the mother, it's chasing after her." And then Jones is heard saying, "I caught a baby wombat." Okay, mama's right there and she's pissed. Let's let him go.
Yeah, and so after that, I heard there was calls to like, deport her.
Yes.
Did she get deported? No, yes.
No, she's left.
She left of her own free will.
But our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said something which I thought was quite funny. He said, "Take a baby crocodile from its mother and see how you go there." So he wasn't very happy about it, but she's also since released a statement.
Yeah, I mean, she was trying to kind of backtrack and say, well, you guys killed.
Yeah, which I didn't quite understand why she threw that in there. She's trying to apologize for the situation, for her backlash. Then she's like, well, hang on a second. Australia does all of this.
I know that we do cull like kangaroos and that sort of stuff because there's a lot of them and there's too many of them.
Yeah.
In some places. And so that's why they cull them.
Like pests.
Yes. So, I mean, yes, she's right. We do cull them, but we don't snatch joeys from mothers' pouches. So,
no.
Bit weird.
Yes, and, you know, we have a soft spot for our animals. Look up with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, like a whole controversy about that, bringing animals in. Like,
it's Americans, like, coming and, like, tampering with local sort of wildlife.
They're so interested in our animals. Like, everywhere I go here, they're like, oh, my God, you guys have, like, insane animals. I'm like, yeah, so do you. You have bears roaming the country.
I know. That is nuts.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Okay, so AFL started recently. AFL was our footy league, our football league.
My favourite.
The best,
yes.
Aussie rules football. And there's a Richmond young gun. His name's Sam Laylor.
Oh, Lawler.
Lawler?
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard. I know he's really good.
He is really good. He is really, really good.
What did he do?
Well, after he kicked a goal and, you know, he had a really good game on Thursday night, as he was running and cheering in front of 80,000 fans in a game against Carlton, a little bit of little Laylor pops out of his footy shorts.
What? His pee-pee was exposed during the game?
Yes.
On
live television, apparently.
Is it hanging out the bottom?
Just a little bit as he's running. It
unbelievable.
Kind of flops out a little bit and it went everywhere. I mean, good on him.
I mean, wasn't this, I think that was his debut game. Like, this was his first game. He did it amazing, and we now know he's got a big one.
Yeah, debut for him and little him. Good on him. I'm sure his DMs are filling up with this.
That is, I hadn't heard of that. That's hilarious.
It's funny. The video is great. You've got to see it.
Well, thank you very much, Christina.
Anytime, mate. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you guys here next week.